Hi there, this is Mrs. Neal with a makeup lesson called Introduction to Long Division. If you have a math intervention notebook, please get it out now as you will need it during this lesson. So today you will learn to learn the first steps for long division, and at the end of this lesson you will be able to correctly write the steps for long division. So before we get started, we should go over some division terms. Terms are just words that we need to know sometimes. The first one is divisor. The divisor is the number on the outside of the bracket. In this case, it's a 5. The next word you'll need to know is dividend. The dividend is the number inside the bracket. The final word you'll need to know is quotient. The quotient is the answer to a division problem. If you want to stop the video at this time and write down these 3 words, that might be a good idea. It might also be a good idea to summarize what you think they are. The divisor is the number outside the bracket. The dividend is the number inside the bracket. The quotient is the answer to a division problem. And again, you can always stop and replay this part if I went a little bit too fast. So there's 4 steps to long division. These 4 steps will help you remember how to do a long division problem. The first step is to divide a number, and we're going to shorten that to divide. The second step is to multiply it by the divisor, and we'll shorten it to multiply. The third step is subtract it from the dividend, and we'll shorten it to subtract. The fourth step is bring down the next digit in the dividend. Now if you'll notice, we use the words divisor, dividend, and dividend. So if you need to review what those are, please go back to your notebook page and make sure you know what those are. I'd like you to pause the video now and write down these 4 steps because they will be very important to you when you divide. Okay, so now that you've written down those 4 steps, here's a tip to help you remember the steps because that's a lot to remember. So here's a tip that I hope will help you remember. Think of a family. In this family, there are 4 people. In a lot of families, there's more than 4 people, but in this family, for today, we're going to be using these 4 people. They are Dad, Mom, sister, and brother. Those words stand for divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. You'll notice they all start with the same letter. Dad and divide, mom and multiply, sister, subtract, brother, bring down. So if you can think about dad, mom, sister, brother when you are dividing, and then you can remember that, oh yeah, dad with the D is the same as divide. That stands for divide with the D. Mom with the M, that will help me remember to multiply. S for sister will help me to remember to subtract. B for brother is bring down, okay? And I always encourage students to write down these steps because while you're dividing, they're very important to you, okay? So when you do long division, think of your family. Think of a family. Dad, mom, sister, brother. They have to go in that order because that's the order of the steps. Please stop the video and write down these 4 family members: dad, mom, sister, brother. Okay, so now that you've written those down, a good way to remember those is another way that I like to use. Does McDonald's sell burgers? That's the same thing as using dad, mom, sister, brother, right? So we have 2 ways now to remember the steps for division. So let's write these steps in. The first step is D, or dad. So we're going to write divide. The second step is M for mom, or McDonald's, which is multiply. The third step is S for sister, or sell, for subtract. So there's subtract. And the last step is B for brother, or burgers, and it also stands for bring down. So we have two ways. We have the family, and we have does McDonald's sell burgers. There are all kinds of these devices to remember. These are two of them. So if you want to remember the family, dad, mom, sister, brother, or if you want to remember does McDonald's sell burgers, either way, it's fine. So let's try it in a problem now and see how it really works. Let's divide 3 into 69. So the first thing we're going to do is divide. We're going to say, how many times does 3 go into 6? Well, it goes in 2 times. Then we're going to multiply. 2 times 3 equals 6. Then we're going to subtract. 6 minus 6 is 0. Then we're going to bring down that 9. Then we're going to start all over again with divide, D, dad, or does. 3 goes into 9 3 times. Then we're going to multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. Then we're going to subtract. 9 minus 9 is 0. And then we're going to bring down. But this number doesn't have any other numbers in it. So we are all done, and this is our answer. So I'm hoping that D, M, S, B helps you remember divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. Here's your assignment for this makeup lesson. Please write your name. Please write the date. And you're going to fill in the steps 2 times. This is to help you remember. I want you to fill in the steps for division, not dad, mom, sister, brother. That's the way that we remember the steps. I want you to fill in the steps. Thank you so much for listening.